Aloha, shamans, and welcome to our little corner of the galaxy here in this dimensional space called EarthStar Spiritual Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. Today is Monday, March 18th, 2024, and I'm Dale Stacy. I'll be your host today, and we're featuring and visiting with Amanda Todd, Dr. Amanda Todd, Ph.D. for creativity and imagination, so a shamanic viewpoint. So welcome today, Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to this topic today with you all.
And I love your backdrop, especially with all your red hair and knowing it was St. Patty's Day yesterday.
Yeah.
That's one. Did y'all do anything special for your Erango bra? Anything?
No, I had a book club yesterday, spiritual book club.
Oh, okay, good.
Excellent. That was it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so today then, we're going to be with Amanda, and Amanda, go ahead and give us an indication about, in case folks that don't know you, Amanda's well known in the local area here. She is an intuitive shaman. She's been doing this for many, many years. We've been to workshops and Cherokee. We've been to Hawaii together, so we traveled around quite a bit, learning about shamanism and all its many facets. So, Amanda, go ahead and introduce yourself and let all the folks in the audience know who you are.
Okay, so I'm Amanda Todd. I'm actually a lecturer in geography at a university. So that's my shaman day job. And then I also do Reiki energy work. I've studied with Dale and Jeanne. I started taking classes in 2006, I believe it was, in Greensboro. But yes, we've been to Cherokee together for other workshops, shaman workshops. We've been to Hawaii and Bermuda. Don't forget Bermuda.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Bermuda. Goodness. Yes. We've been to both oceans.
Yes. Yeah. In one summer, we did them both.
Yes. One summer. That's about 2 weeks apart, wasn't it? Goodness.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So today, like I said, I do energy work. I'm getting ready to start a mystery school this fall, which follows along similar to what Dale and Jeanne offered. That I took back in 2008, I believe it was. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yes.
2008, 2009, and then another mystery school I did with you all in 2014.
Yes. Yeah. That's great. And for energy work, you're a Reiki master and a Huna master, right?
Yes. And probably I love Reiki, but Kahiloa is probably my favorite because it's nature-based. Yeah. And it's working with the elements of nature. So a lot of people haven't heard of Huna, Kahiloa, energy work, but that's probably my favorite to share. And I actually have a class coming up in New Bern at the end of April.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, make sure by the end of the show, make sure we cover all those things that you're doing once we get to your little slide with all the things that's going on. That'd be great. Okay, all right. Well, let's go ahead and jump in on what we go. So we've got some slides to show you. So we are here today. It is March 18th, 2024, Creativity and Imagination with Amanda Todd, Ph.D. All right, and we are EarthStar Spiritual Center. We are a multi-faith church for living Aloha. Been doing this since 2002. And our core principles and ideals are Aloha. That's all loving God, love, oneness, heart, as above, so below. And we are an interfaith or a multi-faith church. So we have many videos available on YouTube. So just check the EarthStar Spiritual Center's YouTube channel, and then you'll find videos and meditations with Buddhism and Christianity, energy healing goddess, Mother Earth, native, tribal, sacred geometry, and Taoism. And also these are our list of the books that we've written here at EarthStar. So starting in 2013, which was just a novel, not just a novel, but a novel. And then the other four, those are part of the Simply Shaman series. And we've started that in 2020, and we've done one every year. And we're currently working on one. And for those of you who are aspiring artists or authors, you see the little oval there with EarthStar Publishing. You can contact us, go to the website. I've got those links in the show notes, and you can find out how we can get you published, right? And we can help you with that. And we got somebody checking in with us. Hello, Fire Owl. Thanks for being here today. Making my dad tune in. Hi, Heidi's dad. Thank you for being here, Richard. Hope you're having a great day. Multidimensional multitasking. Yes, indeed. And I'm going to see Heidi this weekend at the beach. That'll be great. Good. So check out all the infos on show notes, and those books are available on Amazon. Right. And we also have Heal the Healer Summit will be this weekend on the Crystal Coast, North Carolina. So the Emerald Isle area. We'll be there in Salter Path at the Trinity Center, and we'll be there with Iris Carter and Margot Ross and Katie Costa, Amy Prady, and we'll be doing Heal the Healer Summit, so Thursday through Sunday. So check the links in the show notes, and still time to register if you want to, and hope we see you there on Thursday starting. And remember our shaman principles of SHAC. If we want to know how we can interact with the world, and that's doing our smiles, our hugs, our acts of kindness, compliments, and kisses. Try to do at least those every day, once or twice every day. And remember, as far as a shaman, you are divine. Remember that you are awesome, you are beautiful, and you are perfect. LAB, it means look like you're divine, act like you're divine, and be divine. Okay, so those are nice shaman principles to get us started. All right, so we're going to start with Amanda, Dr. Todd, creativity and imagination. Dreaming the dream awake. All right, Amanda, you go ahead, and I'll click the slides whenever you're finished with something.
Okay. So yeah, Dale had asked me to come on here and give a talk of something, and that's such a wide, open possibilities of anything I could talk about. And
oh God, that is a lot for a Pisces, isn't it?
So I decided I narrowed it down. Kind of narrowed it down to creativity and imagination, because yes, as a Pisces, this is my world. Constantly dreaming. I think one of my mission statements long ago was something about I am an interdimensional dreamer. So it's the idea of being creative, not necessarily like painting and artwork. There are so many other ways to be creative, and then the importance of our imagination.
Yes. Okay. Outstanding. All right, first.
Yeah, so in my spiritual book club I'm hosting right now, we've been reading Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self by Sanaya Roman. And this is a book I actually read with Dale and Jeanne long ago in the book club in Greensboro. So I'm actually at the coast near Swansboro, North Carolina, Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'm down here. And we were reading the section of this book, and it just reminded me of so much rereading the book 10 years later, right? It's a great book. But it says your creativity and imagination are two important keys to making a better reality for yourself. You need to be creative to work with things as energy, and you need to use your imagination to picture the results you want. When you use your creativity and imagination, you can expand your ideas of what is possible for you to have and thus create a better life for yourself. So in working with people over the years, I've realized, whatever it is, society or however we're raised, so many people have a box that they live in, and they think that's the only way that they can be. We're taught not to, kind of daydreaming's for children, or don't do that. Imagination's foolish. But I realized as a Pisces, I had been doing this my whole life, and I didn't know that this was how I was manifesting so quickly. I would, at night before bed as a little kid, I'd lay in bed and I'd have this whole scenario playing out in my head. And then it would happen within a few weeks. And I didn't know as a young earth soul what was going on until I got into learning about spirituality and manifestation and how shamanism worked, the modern shamanism viewpoint of creating our realities with your thoughts, what you're thinking, your visions, and creating those stories in your mind's eye. And then having the energy and, the passion and the feeling state behind that to create it. Yes. So that's why I liked this little quote on this page.
Okay. And as a young Pisces coming up, when do you think you finally realized that you were kind of going down the shamanic, spiritual, magical path? Was there a specific incident or age in which you kind of you knew that you were something special like that?
Well, I think I always knew I had something. I just didn't know what it was until I was probably 28. I was always interested in metaphysical stuff, but I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't know what was going on. So, really, it probably wasn't until I had my spiritual awakening.
Was that at Full Circle or because that's where we met you, right? At the Cherokee workshop.
Right. So it would have been before that, slightly before that. I had a psychic reading, and she did some pendulum and chakra stuff on me, and it opened me up to so much that I was scared. This was the first person I'd ever met that could read me and could see me, and the things that she opened up, I didn't know what to do with. So a coworker, actually at the engineering firm I worked at the time, suggested someone she knew that was a minister at a Methodist church, but was Jewish, that did energy work and did sound healing. It was wild. So when I went to her, then I started like opening up and seeing energy and auras more that I had always been seeing. I just didn't have anybody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
And then I met you about 6 months later because a book fell off the bookshelf at Barnes and Noble's, and it was Shaman Healer Sage, and I wanted to find a shaman. So I put that intention out there to the universe, and 6 months later went to Cherokee and found you.
Yes, and now you wrote the foreword for the first shaman book in the Simply Shaman series, didn't you?
I did. Yep.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And we definitely have to have support, because it's tough trying to do this on your own to be a shaman, especially when you're first awakening to all the special powers that you have. So as we're talking about creativity and imagination, do you think in your world, do people have are they hesitant about this imagination thing? Do they not trust it yet?
Yes, I would say they don't trust it, or they don't think it's possible for them. Because even using the word shaman, I've used it to some of women that I've worked with that are very spiritual. But anytime I use the word shaman or modern shamanism, they're kind of like, "Ooh, that's for you or somebody else, but it's not for me," and they don't understand that it's for all of us.
Yes, right.
We all have the potential to unlock and remember how to be creative and to play with the universe and to create and live our dream lives.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're modern shamans, we're cross-cultural shamans, and we're shamans of Aloha consciousness. So my goodness, how could you not think that that's something that's very loving in what we do?
Yeah. Right.
All right. Okay, great. All right, next.
So also in that book, up the next page, your ability to picture something that does not exist in your reality is one of your highest abilities. Your imagination allows you to think of having more than you have now. Your imagination transcends this dimension and connects with the universal mind where anything is possible. Take time to daydream, fantasize, relax, and think about what you want to create. Practice thinking in new, unlimited ways. Unlimited thinking puts you in touch with the larger picture of your life and links you with the expanded version of your higher self.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So again, a lot of people I found they have limited thinking, limited possibilities. They don't know that there's all these wonderful things that they could be doing. They think it's out of reach or that it's not for them. But as you once said, I think in a class long ago, if you can dream it, you can be it.
Yeah.
So that dream wouldn't exist within you if it wasn't part of your higher self or something you could do.
Yeah, exactly. Because that imagination, that's the initial building block. That's the cornerstone of any creation. So yeah, it's very appropriate for people to start believing in who they are, what they're thinking, what they're seeing, hearing, and feeling, in the mental realm. Yeah.
Right. And that whole, daydream, fantasize, unfortunately in our school systems, we're often taught not to daydream. But I can remember sitting there daydreaming all the time. That's what a Pisces, we're half in this world, half not, right? But just constantly daydreaming. But I think even as adults, we don't allow ourselves to slow down, and we don't allow ourselves just to sit and imagine what we want. We're too busy, too busy. We're running, hustling, and we just don't take that time to sit outside and to think about what we want or to, relax.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay, great. All right, next slide. And remember, we're live, folks. So if you're in the chat, make sure you chat with us. Have any questions, any anecdotes you'd like to share about creativity, imagination, please just join us on the chat. All right, next.
And then actually from your book, there are no limits, only the lack of imagination. So I thought that's just a very short statement, and there's a lot with that.
Yes,
but
yes,
there are no limits, only the lack of imagination. And we tend to limit ourselves.
Yeah,
we can think society has restrictions on us in some ways, or how we grew up or something, but it's us that we're limiting our beliefs and our imagination. We're stopping the creative potential that exists within us.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got to learn to trust that imagination. It's so important in our creation, right? Our creation and influencing of our realities. That's great. And this is the book you wrote the foreword for. So thank you for that.
Yes.
All right, next one.
And then in one of your other books, and this comes from the mystery schools I did with you as well, but imagination is key in 5D consciousness as we co-create with the fullness of our cosmic spirit, 3D cosmic mind, and 4D cosmic heart. Imagination is a dimension, as is any other thought or feeling. So yeah, that daydreaming and imagination, it's another level to our existence that we can tap into.
Yes. And that is part of our wholeness as mind, body, and spirit, and being multidimensional and interdimensional shamans. I mean, we have to pay attention to that because, our imagination is this wonderful avenue of information, and it's precious information because it's coming from within and our cosmic connection. So it's wonderful if we can learn to trust and to activate that imagination and helping us to either influence or create the reality we want to have.
Yeah. And of course, we can do it intellectually with our minds. We can feel into stuff, but when you can bring both of those together, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just everything opens up.
Yeah, it's almost like the old church saying, we're going to put some feet to our prayers, right? It's okay to pray, but hey, we need to put some feet and arms into it and to make it real here in 3D, because that's what's required in 3D. We have to, it's that sweat we have to put out. We have to give that energy, so we help to create those things in 3D.
Yeah. So yeah, I can sit and dream and create courses, create new ways of doing things that I want to move forward, but then I have to take action. I have to go network. I have to go, put myself out there or energetically say, here, I am doing this. I got my little flags here. I'm doing it, and let that come to me. But yeah, there's got to be action to it in some way.
Yeah, exactly. Because just as a side note, just tell people how you were very instrumental in establishing labyrinths at your university, right? I mean, was there one there before you did this?
No. So I teach a course on sacred spaces, sacred paths. It's actually a course that I designed and was approved by the curriculum committee. And I was looking for an activity for the students to do hands-on, experiential. And I was sitting in a course, eco-spirituality course through the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, and they had a labyrinth on their campus, which I was like, wonder if we could do that here. I logically thought, no way, there's too much red tape. There's no space on campus, space is reserved for athletics and other things. That we're not going to be able to do the labyrinth. Well, as soon as I proposed it to my dean of my college, the assistant dean, it's like everything opened up and the space was just right there. The facilities, ground crew paid for everything. I didn't have to do grants, which if you're in the system, that's pretty magical that it just flowed so easily. So I know that was part of that. Like I put the intention out, I wanted to do this, and then it just happened.
Yeah, that's great. And did the students help? Were they able to use their imagination helping to create this at all? Or?
Yeah, so every semester they design a new labyrinth.
That's great.
When the course is offered, they decide what kind of layout they want, classical, medieval, a certain shape. They put their thoughts into it, each group. And of course, the groups are usually small, so far 10 students, but they've got to decide what they want together. And then they actually build it and construct it. So we pull up the old labyrinth and then they build a new one. So they're able to put their imagination and thought and what they want for the campus community and themselves in it.
Well, and that's a beautiful lesson with the temporary nature of things from the Buddhist standpoint too, right? They build it and you take it up, they build another one. Oh, I think that's wonderful. That's great.
Yeah.
So you're helping us students then, allowing their imagination to come into 3D awareness. I mean, to actually be real. I think that's great. It's wonderful. All right, next.
And then I found this quote by Julia Cameron: creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to God. Because a lot of us have creativity, but again, we tend to limit that word to maybe artists or musicians. But there are so many ways to be creative, whether you're crocheting, making, beautiful wreaths like Jeanne. Maybe you're setting house decorations up. That's creativity. Maybe it's developing a new course. Maybe it's landscaping in your yard. There are so many ways to be creative. And I think some people who can't move forward with what they want in life, they're blocking their creativity. They're not allowing it to flow through. So expressing that creativity in some way is a gift back to the universe or God.
Yeah, I mean, it really is an infinite gift. I mean, and very dimensional, because we can be creative in our mind, creative with our body, creative with our spirit, creative with our thoughts, our words, our actions. I mean, really, it's like you said, there's really no limit to what our creativity can be and what we can do with it.
Right.
Wonderful. It is truly a gift. Okay.
It is.
And okay, next one. Oh, I like this guy. Okay.
Yes, they're also from one of your mystery school books. Creating, imagining, refining, and reviewing are the goals of shamanic dreaming. So a lot of people wouldn't say that they're doing shamanic dreaming. A lot of people talk about, well, I want to learn how to do shamanic dreaming. Well, if you're visioning in your mind or imagining things, you're doing shamanic dreaming. And the more you do it, it is, practice, getting into doing it and trusting. But over time, if you create something, and it's not quite the right fit, then you can refine it and review it and go back into that dream and change it. Yeah. So that's one of the things I learned early on with you, I think, was redreaming the dream. Mm-hmm. And that's part of that imagining and refining and reviewing what you're creating.
Yeah, because we've both been doing the shamanic dreaming since we met. I mean, goodness, we're, all the workshops we've attended, the classes we've been in together. I mean, we've been in a constant state of shamanic dreaming or creating a blueprint for our reality. And, it's trial and error. It depends how much effort you put into it, how much you believe, and the power you have to create or influence that reality. So, it's a learning process. It's, one step at a time. And we learn, we go left, we go right, we stay still, but that's the way that works with shamanic dreaming. It's a wonderful way to create a blueprint for your day, your week, a month, a year, and life, and even life from before and life after. So.
Right. And I think that blueprint too, not just for us, but when we are able to put that out into the universe, that new blueprint, new way of doing something, it makes it so much easier for other people.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, because they can consciously tap into that. They may not know they're doing it, but they're picking up on that as well. That easier path. Yeah.
All right, got a chat from Heidi. She says, you mentioned the block. So can you talk about ways to get past that to discover what the creative path is?
Wow, that's a good question, Heidi.
Yeah, great.
So I think for some, the block is society conditioning, okay, or our own restrictions that we've placed on ourselves to experience a full life. Whether that be things we've heard, things in the media, maybe past life or other lifetime stuff that could be blocking us. But ways to discover that, I'd say the biggest thing is having others to talk to. And I'm going to kind of keep coming back to that support and being with others who have done it. And sometimes just being around them shows you a new way to be and to how to be creative.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And the another thing about the blockages, we have to go back to the very the beginning of humanity and life itself here on Earth. So when we think about that, we are divine, like that slide that we showed near the end of the beginning slides about you are divine, you're awesome, you're beautiful, and you're perfect. You just have to remember that you are divine and think that you are divine for all of eternity. That takes an incredible amount of energy to know that throughout all your lifetimes, throughout all of eternity. And when eternity ends, well, the next day we do it again for another eternity, another forever, right? Another infinite. And so just remembering that you are divine to begin with, and we're not necessarily taught that in the 3D world. And then to realize what your purpose is. Everyone's purpose, everyone, everything, every place's purpose in this universe, multiverse, the megaverse, everything that we know of, any place, any time, is that love. Love, aloha, is our purpose. So find a way to share this aloha, this love, whether it be your earth superpowers, your abilities, your gifts, your goals, your powers, your skills, your talents, your imaginations, your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Because as shamans of aloha, that's what we're here to do, to share our love in the best and possible way we can. And once we do that, I think, Amanda, you also experienced it too. You know, once you have something in your mind that you want to do and you give it some energy, it gets created. And a lot of times it gets created very quickly.
Yes. Yeah. So I think, going back to Heidi's, how do you get past that to discover what the creative path is for you? Everybody obviously going to have other different creativity things that speak to them and what they're doing. But just saying to yourself, you are creative, and just keep saying that and believe it, that you are creative. You may not be creative how somebody else is, because I'm definitely not a music person. I can't sing, play an instrument. That's not my creativity. But finding what brings me joy, what am I happy doing, could be a way to discover what your creative path is. Just starting with that joy point of what brings you joy and what do you enjoy just doing in your time. And it could be sitting in nature. Maybe just sitting in nature is a path to discovering more creativity if you relax and let your mind wander.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Trust the imagination. Do what you love to do. And like you said, be very, most importantly, enjoy what you're doing. Have the love of joy and the joy of love. Whatever you're doing, know that whatever you do easily, that is your goal, right? That's who you are. That's your superpower. Yeah. Right. All right. Wonderful. Thank you, Heidi. Hope that helped out or answered the question somewhat. All right. Next.
And then do only those things that create your higher purpose, and you will have more time. Because I know one of the questions I get all the time is, well, how do you have time to do all that you're doing?
Yeah. And Heidi said, that's great. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you, Heidi.
And for me, it's doing what I enjoy doing. And what I'm doing is part of my higher purpose. So it's a way of bending time when we get down to it too. So doing all those creative things that bring me joy gives me more time somehow. And that's a whole other conversation, probably for another 30 minutes of working with time. But just do only those things that create your higher purpose, what you enjoy doing, what brings you joy. As far as higher purpose, what brings you joy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like the old things that we used to say, follow your bliss, but yeah, I like, a lot of people don't know what bliss is. They can't quite define that, but I think when you say follow your joy, everybody knows what joy is. I mean, do what makes you happy. Right. And then continue to do it till you're not happy anymore, and then find out what else makes you happy and do that. It's really very simple. If we just focus on being love and doing what we love to do, things will just work out. We just have to stick with it. You just can't stop. And I think that comes up to some of those blocks that Heidi had questioned or gave out the question about that. You never know. That next step, that could be the step that gets rid of that block. So you got to keep going. You got to be persistent, right? That's what we do. We keep making it happen and keep enjoying what you're doing, and just know you're on the right track, the right path.
Yeah. Think about children and how much fun children have. And as we say, when we get older, it feels like time's moving quicker. But some of that could be, how we're spending our time. Some people, the 8-to-5 job that they don't like. So then time is very different than when you're in that state of joy, like a child, having fun and being creative.
Yeah, and we do have fun, right? We laugh a lot when we're together. So that's great, because we enjoy being with each other. We enjoy learning new things. We enjoy traveling. We enjoy all the new experiences, the meditations, the spiritual growth, the mind, body, spiritual connections. I mean, it's just a fun time to live life as a shaman of Aloha.
It is. It is.
Okay, good. All right, next one then. Oh, here we're getting back to you. Okay. Anything else you want to say then, as far as all that, before we give folks some things that how they can contact you and reach you on some of your projects and classes?
No, I think that's for our 30-minute talk today. That's good timing of wrapping it up about creativity and imagination and just letting yourself dream, letting yourself relax. Whether that's some point during your day, just allowing your mind. You don't have to go into meditation or anything. Just let the visions and ideas of what you want come into your mind, and just keep doing that and see what happens.
Yep, that's it. And so you heard it here, folks, from Dr. Todd. Just follow your joy, okay, and everything will be okay. All right. Thank you, Amanda, for all that. All right, let's go over some things that you've got available for people to experience some of these wonderful things that you've experienced in life as a shaman.
Yes. So after almost 18 years now or so of being into the spiritual metaphysical world, I've been teaching energy work for 10, 11 years now. I'm still teaching Reiki and Kahiloa energy work. I've been working with crystals for a long time as well. So I have a Geology and Crystal Energy Academy starting up in August, which will bring together like Geology 101, like plate tectonics, the rock cycle, all that stuff in with the crystal energy part. So it's a school program really bringing in both worlds, the heady intellectual and the energetic work as well.
Now, will that be online or in person?
Part of that will be online, and then we will meet together for a weekend at a natural geologic site. Last year, I took a course with someone in the UK on geomancy and ley lines and stone circles, and I visited Scotland and the stone circles too. So when I came back from that trip, I was like, I need to develop a program now that combines both, because I've been teaching crystals just from the crystal side, energy work, gemstones, that side. And then the university just been teaching earth sciences, geology. Well, now that's going to bring it all together. And that. So it'll be online and then also one weekend in person. Because I really do think, I know everything's moving online, and you and I have talked about this a lot lately, but there is something about coming together. And there is something about coming together at these places of power and to do ceremony. So I'll back up right there and say with that, my dissertation was on spiritual landscapes of the Appalachian Mountains. And I participated in 2008, 9, in a despacho ceremony at Mount Mitchell. And one thing that came up from that was that the mountains were crying out for ceremony. We often think about ceremonies being conducted, in the Himalayas, other mountains around the world, but we don't take the time necessarily to honor what's local here. So part of all the programs I'm doing is really focusing and bringing it back here to North Carolina, because we have some amazing, powerful places as well to connect with and to show our respect and be reciprocal with. So the Crystal Geology Academy will include field trip, excursion, and the mystery schools will as well. So they'll be partly online, but then we also come together to go to some of these places. Then I offer one-on-one shamanic coaching sessions, energy work. And then I do weekend retreats to Cherokee and Boone. And then also specifically for women, week-long retreats. I've done it to Hawaii before, and I'm doing it to Scotland in the future, just for women. So that's my teaching arm, more of what I do. And then just recently I started Sacred Way Ceremonies, which is ceremonies, rituals, and gatherings for life and love and loss. So this is more the doing part. I'm stepping out of the teaching role a little bit. Still probably some teaching, but I trained in Scottish wedding rituals last year. So I want to be able to offer those for people here. And then also funerals. I'm doing spiritual book clubs here and Reiki sessions. And I do monthly labyrinth walks in the area. And then pilgrimages to Scotland, and as well death doula services, which is more right now education, because so many people don't know what a death doula is. But that'll change in time, just like everything else. We're putting the blueprint out there to the universe, and then people will become common. Just like 12 years ago, Reiki was still kind of hush hush, but now a lot of people talk about Reiki.
Yes. So perfect Pisces spiritual program, right? Just, I mean, it's everything from really, it's like there used to be a store in town that was a geophysical to metaphysical. So you really are capturing that spectrum of giving people a chance to expand their knowledge as far as mind, body, and spirit. So I think that's a wonderful curriculum you got. And also you're a Virginia mountain woman, right? So it's not like you don't know anything about the mountains.
Yes. So yeah, my family's from Southwest Virginia, but I've lived all over North Carolina, but lived in Boone, the high country, also out near Cherokee, and taught out there that way. So I'm very familiar with the mountains of North Carolina and Virginia.
But your Pisces energy just had to pull you towards the ocean a little more, right? So you like it down there for now. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you, Amanda, for sharing all that. And all of Amanda's contact info is in the show notes. Have our website on there and 2 locations on Facebook where you can contact her for classes or one-on-ones or in more info on any of the services that she offers when she has time, because she's got a day job and then she's got her shamanic job. Okay, so thank you for that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so just remember, folks, that we are one collective diamond soul. This is where we live for all of eternity. We live many, many facets during many, many times throughout infinity. So make sure you know that the facet you're on is who you are. And you just know that you can be anyone and anything you want to be, because, this is where we are forever. And we're here to learn about and to be loved. So be that one beautiful diamond. And also just remember, you are divine. Okay, you are awesome, you're beautiful, you're perfect. And you see the LAB there, that means you look divine, you act divine, and you be divine. And that LAB also applies to the awesome, beautiful, and perfect. So you look awesome, you act awesome, you be awesome. You look beautiful, act beautiful, be beautiful, and look perfect, act perfect, and be perfect. Because that's who we are and that's what we do. So thank you for being here today. Let me get this back on. And a big thing here. So I'll give you a chance to, if you want to say any closing remarks in a minute here, Amanda. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here today, mid-afternoon. This was a time where we could get together because, as you saw by the things that Amanda offers, I had to tackle her down to just this 1 hour in a day where she had time to come on and do something. So thank you for taking the chance and being here with us. And I hope that we can make this a regular thing, that we can, if not every 2 weeks, or weekly, or monthly, or given your Pisces tendency, it could be you're swimming off, and it may be once a year. But that'd be great. Whenever we can get together, that'd be fine. Anything you'd like to close with?
No, just thank you, Heidi, for the question, and thank you for all watching the replay. If you have any questions, reach out to us. I think the big thing, again, is having support. And that was one thing I talked to somebody last night about, was in your community, your local community, or online, just having resources and people that you can raise your awareness with and your consciousness with.
Yes. Excellent. All right, that sounds great. So remember, we're going to follow our joy. Okay. All right, so let's do a quick pal and have a great afternoon, and we'll see you here. Let's see, this is Monday. We'll see you here tomorrow night. Okay, at 7 o'clock, Simply Shaman. All right, all 3. 1, 2, 3. Pow! All right, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.